Hootie. Oh yes, pringy, pringy, prongy. Yeah, that's right. We're about to go live. It's amazing. It amazes me every time how cool that is. Anyhow, today we're going to do something special. We're going to be testing some pedals. And for this purpose, I have brought two of my current favorite up here on the desk. And I will soon be showing you a close-up view of those as I tweak them. And you can kind of see what's going on in real time as far as the sound goes. But here's a little, just a little preview, a little glimpse of what you'll be looking at in this stream. So the point is really here to, obviously I use many different pedals, but it's kind of hard to show you in the live stream what I'm doing. So this is the first attempt to kind of bring two select pedals up and see what we can do with them and what we can, well, try to learn together from the whole thing. Yeah, I think we're about ready to dive into it. Oh yeah, Wendy, 5 a.m. real time, crazy. How you doing, Wendy on YouTube? And I can see lots of good people here on Instagram as well. That's amazing. So, and we have 5 people from Facebook. That's amazing. So, first of all, I'm going to show you the sound we'll be working with. So this is basically just my amp, the Mesa Boogie amp, Mesa Boogie Mark 5. Okay, nothing too fancy, but there's a little bit of reverb on there, and I have the option of enabling more pedals on the floor, which you won't be able to see. But right now, none are really connected. We will just be looking at these two pedals. So let me re-angle the camera a little bit so you can see them. Cool, so this is what we will be looking at. Hopefully you can see that somewhat clearly. The reason I chose these two pedals is because I think they're kind of powerful in their tone shaping and they're very high gain friendly. So the Friedman BE-OD is the pedal version of their famous BE-OD amp, which I've never tried, and I've never tried anything but this pedal from them. But the pedal is constantly kind of growing on me. I've had it for a year now, I think, and it's a very cool pedal. Daniel on Instagram, what's up, my man? So with this, we'll be able to shape our tone. We can use it to boost the signal of the amp, or we can use it to dial in lots of more gain. We'll be exploring that. Now, this one goes in front of the amp. So basically, you can think of it as my guitar going into this pedal and then back into the amp. And then from the effect loops end, so in other words, this pedal is getting its input from after the amp preamp stage. And this is important because it allows me to shape the EQ once we've gone through all the gain stages. So we've thrown on this pedal and we have the Mesa Boogie onboard gain, and then after that comes this EQ shaping pedal. You can also use it in other places in the chain, but this is definitely going to be where you hear the most difference. You can use this pedal as just like a tone shaping, almost like an overdrive. But I have lots of overdrive pedals for that purpose. I think this is much more suited to work as a strict EQ, neutral EQ shaping the tone. Okay, so let's start pressing some buttons here. Let's just... So I think maybe I'll be moving just the amp mic a little bit so we can hear a more direct sound. So just a second. Okay. Yeah, I think this is better. I just moved the SM57 in front of the amp a couple of centimeters. Pretty cool. So it's already shaping up nicely. Now, lots of stuff we could do with this pedal. Let's first just show you the difference here. This is something some people maybe misunderstand, the volume, the gain knob. At a first glimpse, it's just, what it says, right? You dial in the amount of gain you want for the, maybe you want a creamy lead, so lots of gain. And then you just set the volume so it matches whatever you're doing. If you're in a band, you set the volume so you can be heard and so on and so forth. But you can do much more than that, especially if you're plugged into a tube amp like I am now. You can definitely turn down the gain knob, which is this middle knob, and you can turn up the volume knob. What that does, it's going to boost the signal, and it will give you lots of more gain, but not from the pedal, but from the amp. So let's try so you can hear the difference. Without it, so you can hear there's definitely more gain going on, but it's not coming from the pedal. Again, because gain is set to 0 on the pedal, and volume is kind of maxed out on the pedal. So one more time. Okay, so if I turn it off, so it's adding lots of gain, but without touching the gain knob on the pedal. Now, if we do touch the gain knob on the pedal, so you could, you can hear, obviously, lots of gain there. That's why you heard that little scream coming. And then, of course, you have all the in-between modes, and that's what makes it so interesting to tweak a pedal that has volume and gain, and most pedals have that, because you can balance the amount of basically tube gain, or whatever you want to call it, that is in the amp. And again, that's by boosting the volume, and you can dial in how much gain you want coming from whatever pedal you are using. We got another YouTube comment here. Javier, you like the sound. You think I'm a rock star. Awesome. I will have some issues reading your comments on YouTube right now. Maybe I can fix that because the phone is angled on the pedals. So let me see if I can maybe just go into YouTube on my channel. Let's see what you guys are saying. There's a live stream. Great. Cool. Cottonmouth says hi. Very good. Cool. So we have lots of people in here. That's awesome. Zong. Okay, so that's for this pedal. Now we're going to tweak it more, but now that we have a decent amount of gain coming here, both via boost and via the gain knob, we can then try to shape the tone with an EQ. Now we can do that on the pedal as well, but it won't be nearly as powerful as this 10-band EQ. And as you might see here, I already have a kind of, well, I guess could be described as a V shape, or maybe more of a landscape shape. You can see two mountains there, whatever you want to call it. Let's try that. Okay, without it, with it. So you can hear there's some stuff happening there, right? I'm just testing to make sure you guys can hear what I'm hearing. The small pedal is Friedman BE-OD. Okay, but let's push it to something more extreme so you can really hear what the EQ does. So for that purpose, I'm really going to pull down the 1 kilohertz and I'm going to push up the other one so we get a more extreme V curve here. This, I'm warning you, it's going to be extreme. It does barely sound good. can hear there's a major difference now. Now, some people love the scooped out sound you're getting. I think it's way too much. It could be fun, maybe just playing a cappella, but this won't really work in a mix. So maybe I found some website that showed different settings of this pedal. Maybe I could just try to bring that up, and we could try some different versions here. 10 band EQ settings examples. Let's hope I can find it. I'll just type in MXR as well, so Google understands that I'm looking for a guitarist-oriented tutorial. I think I might have maybe found it. Come on. Well, we can just get experimenting. So let's see if we want more of a like a lead sound here. We want to keep a little bit of the mid-range, but smoothen out the top. Let's try that. Increase the volume a little bit, and you can hear how that sounds. Without it. With it. Without it. It's kind of thin, right? When comparing, if I'm playing a lead now, without it, and then turn it on. So if we try like, I don't know, Sweet Child of Mine or something, without it. I think maybe this is a little bit too much, but hopefully you get the picture of what's happening here. It's a little bit boomy, so let's see here. I want to do this instead. Or not boom, it's just, I don't know. Let's try to give it a boost around 250, where usually there is some warmth, and then a boost around 4,000, but pull it down at 8,000. Yeah, this is a little bit better actually. Pretty cool. Let's see here. I don't know this. I'm gonna test the chat here on YouTube. Test. Yeah, seems to work. Okay. Okay, so here we go. This is already tastier. Now, it does add quite a bit of gain, so I can adjust the gain here so it matches what's coming in. Okay. Sometimes when you're tweaking pedals, it can be a little bit tricky to know whether you made a sound improvement or whether you just raised the volume, right? There's a pretty big difference there. So that's why I adjusted the gain here. It's pretty cool, if you ask me, without it. With it. But let's see. Let's do this. Let's turn this off, and let's start by tweaking the pedal a bit more. I mean, in general, if you can avoid, cutting away lots of frequencies and just get a good sound from scratch, I tend to prefer that. So it makes more sense to start tweaking this pedal and see what sound we can get. And then when we're happy with it, we can see if we can kind of push it even further using the EQ. So let's see if we can just get a creamy sound here. Now I find that one of the strengths with this pedal is the tight knob, and it controls the low end, how tight it is basically. And that's one of the things that can be very characteristic to different amps. And for example, I think Marshalls usually consider having tight end, if I'm not wrong. I don't have any Marshall, but just give you the picture. Now, I like a slightly loose end for lead, and then I tighten it for rhythm maybe. So I'm going to loosen it a little bit, turn it down. Maybe turn up the bass a little bit here. So these knobs kind of work in tandem. Enchanted, what's up, my man, on YouTube? Yes, tweaking to fit the guitar in the mix is also important. It's not really what I'm doing now, though. If I were doing that, I would search for a good high end, and I would totally always test what I'm doing with the mix to see how it fits. So probably tweak a little bit, record, tweak a little bit more, record until I found something I'm happy with. Right now, it's just finding maybe like a cool lead tone or something like that. Are you running through an amp? If so, what amp? Yeah, I'm running through Mesa Boogie Mark V, and I have it mic'd up with an SM57. Thank you for the question on Instagram there. Okay, so now let's try removing some of the treble and have some presence instead. That can also be a trick for really smooth leads. It won't always cut through the mix, but it can give you very smooth top end. So for example, if we do the opposite, it should get pretty harsh here. But if I turn down the presence knob, it actually sounds kind of cool as well. Okay, let's try the opposite. So we turn the treble down and we increase the presence knob. It's pretty cool. Let's balance it a little bit. Pretty cool. Now let's go back to tweaking the volume and gain balance here. So we can try with lots of gain and little volume, and that's going to give us all distortion. Most of the distortion coming from the pedal, whereas the opposite would give us distortion coming from the amp, as we would boost the amp with the volume switch. That's what I spoke about in the beginning. Enchanted, yes, my vocal mic is clean. Thanks a lot. It's because I'm speaking right next to the mic, and I have it go through a DBX mic preamp. So you can see here how it looks when I speak. Here it is. And I'm going to show you. No, see if I can show you this one in cable hell. You can barely see it. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm going through. I'm not going through the Kemper. So, yep, there you have it. Let's go back to the pedals. Okay, so Amir, hey there on YouTube. Straight into Mark V or effects loop. So AHAR, the 10-band EQ is in the loop, whereas this is in front of the amp. So this is pretty fun sound. A little flat maybe, but you can hear. This is where the amp doesn't like it anymore. It's fun, whistling. Let's try turning down the gain. Okay, so this is fun. So when I increase the volume, I get a much brighter sound, and it's basically pushing the Mesa Boogie into more distortion. And I like this sound. It balanced kind of the smoother part we dialed in with the other knobs pretty well, I think. It's crunchy and... Whereas the opposite... It's a little flatter, it's a little bit more tame. So let's do it the other way around. Let's have most... Let's have more boost and slightly less gain coming from the pedal. But again, I'm mixing the gain coming from the Friedman pedal and the Mesa Boogie amp as well. Turn down the... Now, some might argue there's a little bit too much gain going on, and they would probably be right, but it's still a lot of fun. You can always turn that down, but my plan was to have quite a bit of gain so we can play around more effectively with the 10-band EQ. So let's try that. Pretty cool. So turning down the gain really helps it. Never turn it down. That's right, Brown Simmons. Siblo, any Hendrix? Well, no. I don't know much Hendrix, but a lot of these blues licks are. I guess they have a little bit of Hendrix in them, maybe, I don't know. I think most people playing the electric guitar have to credit some of what they're doing to Hendrix. It's just hard not to. I like how juicy it is. Let's turn it off. Oh, this is cool. It does add a little bit. Let's see. Maybe try pulling it. Oh, we can do this. Let's try this instead. Let's try more extreme. Oh, this is nice. Pretty cool setting there if I turn it off. Nothing wrong with that, but if I add this, that's pretty cool. I like that. So just achieving different colors. Right now, nothing what I'm doing is kind of necessary for anything. You know, if I were working with a busy mix, this might, you know, be more critical. But right now, I'm just using it as a fun tone shaping tool, and it sounds pretty awesome without it as well. If I turn off the BE-OD and we have only the amp, it sounds like this. Here it sounds a little bit flat, right? Not flat, but it's not as juicy as. So then if we add EQ, it's a little bit too much high gain or highs like treble. I'm going to turn down a little bit of treble on the amp. I also added the thick switch on the Mesa Boogie Mark V amp so we get more low end to kind of balance the treble out. Okay, so well, we've done some dialing in now. Maybe we can get myself back here. You want my head as well, I guess. So we can try maybe this sound, but with like with a backing track or something. Would that be cool? Let's see. Whoop, that's a pretty cool sound right there. So just a second, I'll see what I can do here. I'm gonna plug in backing track to you guys. Whoops. Oh, the hooks, you mean the licks I played? So if you're thinking about maybe I did a bunch of those. I guess those could be considered, I don't know, maybe new Betancourt-ish from Extreme. Let's see here. Oh, this mic doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. I also like Blue Saraceno for this kind of thing. Okay, so let's see if we can get some sound here from something. So I'm gonna go to my own backing tracks on my YouTube channel. Should be like a Chris backings there. Let's see. Oh, my interface is... No. Started from the beginning, see if it... Or maybe let's do this one instead. It's a bit... I'm gonna add some delay now to this signal as well. So this would be F sharp minor. Cool, lots of people from Indonesia on YouTube. How are you guys doing? And Burma from Myanmar. Throw your dictator out for me, man. So let's try turning off the EQ. So the EQ pedal doesn't really help cutting through here. Just a tone shaper that doesn't really care about fitting into the mix. But it's on now, it works. Facebook here. What's up, my man? On Instagram as well. That seems to be the country of the day. So if you want to jam along, I'm an F sharp minor. You can also grab the backing track on my YouTube channel. It's called Heavy Melancholy Metal Ballad Groove, 85 BPM. Turn off the EQ pedal. Whoa! Chizzy, producer likes to work with me. Awesome, man. Send me a message. I don't know Raymond. Send me a message, I'll check him out. Unassuming strat, what does that mean? Cool, we have some requests here. I'm horribly bad at playing cover songs. I wish I was better at it, but I haven't done that for like 20 years. No flashy background here, just my messy room. So true, yeah, I'm not good at flashy backgrounds. Artfu on Insta, what's up? Samar from Insta. I think Dawn and Yash know each other on YouTube. That's awesome, man. This Zaza will give you 2009 Alex Caruso hairline. I don't know who Alex is, and I don't know what a Zaza is. I barely even know what a hairline is, so that joke went above my head. It wasn't even a joke. Maybe it was serious, but I don't need to change my hairline. That bike guy, thanks a lot, man. Thanks, man. What are loopers and what's the squad? Sorry, I feel really stupid, but you have to consider that I'm a retarded rocker from Sweden, so I don't understand all your words, man. That tone without EQ hits completely different. Pretty cool. So let's try it with EQ again. With the EQ pedal. I'll turn it off. Yeah, much better. But the EQ was a bit extreme. Oh, you moderate for a few live streams. Awesome, man. Change it to fast tempo. What should I change? Like the delay or? Hendras, see you, brother. Victor, what's up, my man? Maybe see if we have another backing track. Well, this one is a bit more groovy, I think. This is a very old one, but it's fun. What is this? C minor. Pretty cool. I wonder how I did this. This was years ago. Very cool guitar work there, but let's play over it. Am I ignoring you? What are you saying, man? Now one from Facebook, what's up? So Samarth on Instagram is asking where to get the backing tracks. These are all from my YouTube channel. So you can find, I have a Chris backing tracks list. And you can find a link to my YouTube on my profile. This is called Slow Groove Metal Backing Track, 80 BPM, C minor. Town. Sorry for butchering your name. We should definitely check out that. I agree. Lots of people on Instagram. Arca, how you doing? Rick's fishing. Do you do fishing? That 3-note run. What was that? I have no idea. Oh, you mean the arpeggio, maybe? Maybe. Thanks, Toon, for considering me as your idol. Thanks so much, man. Feel honored. So 5th string up. What lick was it? Man, hard to tell. Like, was it maybe like a picking run? Like, not a good picking day today. Let's do legato instead. Yes, this is a Fender American Deluxe. Sorry, don't know any bullet for my Valentine. So maybe we should try to find another. There's another groovy, which I did more recently. Also pretty cool. It's me playing the bass on this one as well. And the acoustic guitar. D minor. No. Japan, what's up, my man? Why are Swedes so damn good at guitar? Are Swedes good at guitar? Thanks so much, man. Some hybrid picking lick. Whoops. I accidentally turned off the delay. It's a little bit loud now. however you pronounce that. So where are you from Sweden? Var i Sverige? Can you please tell me how you keep your pick angle for those fast runs? Cool, we got lots of good practice and playing related. Oh, is the shirt coming off today? Did it ever come off? Were you here in that one stream where I took it off? How do I angle the pick? So my preferred angle would be like downward slanting, right? So if you start parallel to the string, you would angle it like that. Doesn't work for all runs, but I prefer it that way because it's more natural. So like that, and then you want a little bit of angle this way as well to cut through the strings more easily. So if you start completely parallel, angle down, and then a little bit forward, and you have a cool angle there. This is not a Yamaha, this is a Fender American Deluxe Strat. Okay, so we did have a question about hybrid picking there, and that's something I do a lot. So maybe we can, I don't know if that helps. Let's skip that. Let's try something else. Ouch. Maybe it's better. I think it's a little bit better, yeah, but I'm gonna protect my eyes. I don't know why, but I'm really sensitive to having these strong lights in my face. So right now, Samarth is asking on Instagram about my pedal chain. I'm using the Friedman BE-OD. There you can see the bottom of it. And then I go straight into my amp, my Mesa Boogie Mark V amp. And then I have a little bit of reverb and delay. I use the Big Sky and the Keeley Halo pedal. That's the Mark Andy Timmons signature. So let's try a little bit of hybrid picking here. So if you check out my right hand, you can see I'm using both the pick and the fingers. See, I'm using both in conjunction, right? So interesting question about avoiding to sound linear when you're playing your runs. So if you want to avoid sounding like this, you know, which I guess, ouch, would be described as just a long blur of notes and doesn't have that much rhythm. Oui, je peux parler français, Robert. Comment vas-tu? So we had a question from Facebook if I could speak French, and I do speak a bit of French, so I tried. So you really don't want it to be too much like just a scale up and down, right? It gets boring quickly, even if you're experimental with some notes there. It's still not that interesting to listen to. And in fact, if I have the choice between a cool note choice and a cool rhythm, I would choose rhythm anytime. Rhythm is the shit. So the question was, how do you include cool rhythms and avoid sounding linear? So I think the reason people might sound linear when playing or practicing or jamming like this is because the ideas all come from just practicing a scale up and down, because that's like the common I guess, conception or misconception out there that that's a good way to learn how to improvise. You practice your scales up and down. I don't think that's a very good way at all. I think all improvisation should be licks and melody and phrase based, and knowledge of scales, can come later. You can go a very long way just using the pentatonic scale and adding extensions, just random outside notes. Again, if you have cool rhythm, if you have a cool lick, just picking a random note can be amazingly cool. So instead of playing up and down, yeah, exactly, a veil of smiles. I'm not saying you're doing this, but a lot of improvisation comes from this, and then you try to kind of fix it, right? It's a bit like putting makeup on a pig, where everybody can tell that that dude has definitely been practicing scales, not that much musical phrasing. So the quick answer is just forget about your scales and just transcribe a million different solos. I didn't do that, to be honest, but I did all my improvisation was lick based. So I never had the patience, I guess, to sit down with lots of other people's solos. I just grabbed licks here and there, and then I tried to combine them and make them my own. But I did get a recommendation. I think some private lesson I took sometime to just practice arpeggios with over progression. Then I guess that's good if you want to visualize, the chord changes. But that kind of practicing just easily becomes, that. It just sounds a little bit too. I don't know. If you're practicing sounds like you're playing a scale up and down, your playing will sound like that as well. So you can do a little bit of that if you have a clear goal and purpose in mind. But the more you do it, the more it's also going to sound like you're playing a scale up and down as you're jamming. So, the easy solution is to absolutely stop just practicing scales and totally just play melodies and riffs and licks. Never play a scale again. You don't need the scales. You probably know way more scales than you need already. I think that goes for a lot of people. If you just know the pentatonic scale and you're... Oh, what happened there? If you're struggling to for it to make sense, you don't need more scales. You just need more licks to put inside your pentatonic scale. That's just one example. So, yeah, exactly. Try to play in between the notes. That's a good one, Mike. That's exactly how you're supposed to think. Yeah, so exactly a veil of smiles. If you just learn maybe just one new lick, that's very different from what you usually do. And that's going to take you some time, right? Usually if you get out of your comfort zone and learn something that sounds very different from what you typically do, you have to invest a lot of time. But usually you get that back because it's going to totally refresh your playing. Okay, let's try it. Did it? also eventually just play the same patterns over and over, and you're going to hear that it becomes boring. So in general, it's harder to play a fast, long run and have it be creative. It easily can become something that's more linear. And I think the easiest solution to that is to just play, if you're going to play a scalar run, make it short so that it leads to somewhere. A lot of times I see, amazing players, but just very, very long run. And then it resolves into one bend. It's like, we all know that bend was there just to excuse the long run. And I mean, that's fun for guitarists, but if you're looking to improve the quality of your improvising, that's not going to be helpful. I like the advice and love the playing, but I gotta leave, Chris. Okay, bike guy, have a good one. We had another comment there. I've been working on phrasing and how to build lead type licks on top of chord. Nice. Lots of cool comments here. If I do 10 to 15 exercises for 2 minutes each, will my finger strength and finger speed improve? Yeah, for sure. If you keep that up, you're going to notice a difference just in maybe like a couple of weeks, for sure. Yes, Mike. All the backing tracks are my own creation, and you can find them on my YouTube channel. Just go to the playlist that says Chris Backing Tracks. Play in a different track. So should we try a different track, perhaps? Okay, so here's another one. I've been watching on phrasing and how to build lead type licks on top of a chord progression. Staying in key while to... Yeah. Cool, I think we have someone from, is this South Korea? So let's see here. Can find another backing track maybe. What's this one? A D minor. So I prefer to not actively follow the chord progressions and just stick to the key and have harmony be more of a surprise, because that adds unpredictability that can be hard to throw into your playing. It's going to lead to a lot of mistakes too, but I think that's fun. It's a bit like Russian roulette style improvising, but it's awesome for getting new ideas, to kind of throw yourself out there with lots of mistakes. So this is just D minor, and it's more of like a vamp. There aren't that many chords happening, so you can just stick to the key and maybe throw in some outside notes. That's one recipe. How I started throwing in some more random outside arpeggios. We can do a lot of that stuff and just see, some is going to sound horrible, some is going to sound okay, and when you try that, you can stumble onto some very cool licks. and on a poorly timed lick, it's going to sound really bad. That's just the way it goes. And I did that at the end there. I sounded really bad. But if you want to try some of the other concepts that I threw in, and where I didn't fail all the time, a good 50%, I guess, you can maybe throw in some dominant 7 arpeggios randomly. That's what I do, or just a major arpeggio randomly. A major triad is the same as a dominant 7 arpeggio minus 1 note, right? So they're almost the same. So there I'm adding a major 7 with a raised 4th as well. Lots of different stuff you can try, but I think the easiest dominant 7, or maybe diminished if you've maybe done some jazz or something. But random dominant 7 arpeggios are pretty cool. They sound like bebop licks or something. Let's see if I can. Doesn't that sound like a sax lick? You gotta figure out how to get out of it. It doesn't sound too good now. So dominant 7 is good. So if you want to try a dominant 7 arpeggio, like the B7, classic one, you can play 14th fret. I'm tuned down a half step, so it will sound different, but you can play 14th fret, 13 on the next string, 11, 14, 12, 11, 14. That's it. So from the A string, 14, 13, 11, 14, 12, 11, 14, and you can try to throw in that randomly, that shape. It doesn't even have to be starting on the 14th fret. It could be anywhere on the guitar, but that shape is what I'm throwing in randomly here. That's nice. So that's the kind of thing, I did that in real time. I just discovered how a new random place worked really well there. So of course I'm throwing that arpeggio in, and then I'm quickly going back to the key. That's absolutely central to this concept. If you don't get back to the key after playing outside, it's just going to sound bad. So playing outside, it's just a way to, have a little fun with harmony. That's how I look at it. You know what the harmony is supposed to be, and then you do the opposite. And that becomes fun when you show that you're in control and you did it on purpose. That's what it's all about. I Don't Play Cousins by Kanye West. Good to be here, and thanks for sharing. Thank you, His Great Mission Church. Okay. That's a fun track. So all these backing tracks are on my YouTube channel. You can check them out. Okay, so it's been an amazing session. We started out tweaking tones with my pedals, and if you rewatch the streams, you're going to see how I dialed in the current tone. And then we ended up jamming, which I think is a noble purpose for tone tweaking, to jam, Find your tone and then jam. That's what I do all the time, and I just can't get tired of it. However, I do get tired of it if I use the same tone all the time. So that's why always tweaking the tone is like a magic recipe for me to keep on jamming, keep on improving, and keep on playing. So I wish you the same, because this has been an absolutely amazing session. You've been amazing, and I've been Christopher Dahl. See you next time. Cheers.